Hello my beautiful friends and welcome. I'm Inga, physiotherapist, and in today's video we'll talk about lateral epicondylitis, also commonly referred to as tennis elbow. It is the most common overuse syndrome in the elbow. In this video we'll brush over the anatomy quickly, then I show you a self-assessment test that you can easily do at home. I show you a massage technique, a stretch, and then two very important exercises for when it's a little bit less acute. So let's start. So your elbow consists of what we call your humerus, this is your upper arm bone, and your radius and ulnar. These are the two bones in your lower arm. Your humerus, so your upper arm bone, has something that we call epicondyle. It's where most of our forearm muscles attach. You have one on the left and one on the right, so one on the medial and one on the lateral side. So then your radius and ulnar are connecting your lower arm to your wrist, or what we call carpals, in several joints. In the case of lateral epicondylitis, we have an inflammation or tendinopathy of some of your extensor muscles of your forearm. Most commonly, we see that the extensor carpi radialis brevis is involved. You don't have to remember the name, but what is important is that it has its origin at the lateral epicondyle, so at your upper arm bone, then it runs down your forearm and inserts at the third metacarpal in your hand, so it also crosses your wrist. What this muscle does is primarily wrist extension, so this movement, and then it also does, as other muscles in your forearm, a movement that we call supination and pronation, so this movement, which already leads us to the common causes of the tennis elbow. It's exactly an overuse of these movements, so of supination, pronation, and wrist extension. Often we see this, for example, if you work on a computer, you type, you often have wrist extension. If you have a job that includes manual labor, such as carpenters, electricians, gardeners, everything where you have to do these movements repetitively. The symptoms are pain, okay? So you often have pain at the lateral epicondyle, especially if someone is palpating it, so if someone is touching it, pushing it, and if you do these movements. Sometimes the pain can also radiate all along your forearm and even along your upper arm bone. Can get worse if you, for example, are gripping or if you do the movements we just discussed. Which leads us already to our self-test. We're going to do the Mills test. For that you can sit or you can stand, and you want to palpate your lateral epicondyle. As we discussed, it is at the bottom part of your upper arm, so about here, so you go a little bit inwards from your elbow, and you should also probably feel it as a painful spot already, okay? So hold this spot, and then you're going to bring your forearm in pronation, so in this position, and you're going to flex the wrist like that, and then you're going to bring it into extension, okay? So you're going to bring your elbow into extension. And when you do that, the pain underneath your finger, so at your lateral epicondyle, should increase. Okay, you can reproduce the pain, and then you have a positive test. So let's do our massage technique to help you alleviate the pain. Find yourself a spot around the table where you can place your elbow on. Bring your painful elbow on the table, on the surface, and then you take the other hand and go close to the elbow onto the muscle, and you try to find a trigger point, okay? Should be fairly easy to find a sore spot there. I have found one already. And then you stay here for a moment, just applying pressure, okay? If that feels all right, you can draw small circles. Go just as hard as you can tolerate. Stay here for a moment. The pain should decrease. If that feels alright to you, the next step would be, while you apply pressure, to pronate and supinate your forearm, okay? So you do this movement, and you will feel the pain probably increasing, but you're giving yourself a nice massage of the forearm muscle, okay? Once you feel like the pain has gotten a bit better and you've worked the trigger point enough, you can move along your forearm, palpating and looking for next sore, painful spot and repeating the same thing again. Very good. So now let's do the stretch. You can stay in this position, you can also do it standing if you like. You're going to take both of your arms and stretch them out in front of you. Then you're going to turn your hands so the palms are facing each other, and you're going to overcross the hands and interlace the fingers. Now you're going to passively stretch with your healthy arm, the other one into a wrist flexion, okay? You should feel a nice stretch along the forearm. Please pay attention that your shoulders are not coming up towards your ears, but they're staying down. If this feels alright, you can take it a step further and make a fist with the hand, passively stretching it with the other side, okay? Feels like a nice, good stretch. Hold it here for about 15 seconds or for as long as you like. And then release. Shake out your arms a bit, maybe roll your shoulders back. Very good. As we have learned earlier, a lateral epicondylitis is a tendinopathy, so an inflammation. So if it's very acute, you do not want to do the next exercise that I'm showing you, but you want to take it easy and also maybe still ice it a little bit. But once you have left this really acute inflamed stage, you do want to strengthen your muscles to prevent this problem from reoccurring. Okay, so once you're in that stage, grab yourself a little dumbbell, maybe a water bottle, or some people do it with a hammer, okay? And we're going to train one time the wrist extension, and then we're going to also work on the supination and pronation, okay? So you take your water bottle, you're going to put your hand just above the table so it hangs off, okay? So you can move it freely in this direction, okay? And now you're simply going to do wrist extensions with this added weight, okay? If this is too heavy or too hard, you can also start without the water bottle or without the weight, training your wrist extensor muscles. So do 10 to 15 repetitions of these, maybe 3 times a week, and slowly increase the weight or increase the load. So we want a progressive overload to not irritate it too much, but slowly strengthen it and get stronger, okay? For the second exercise, place your arm as such. So your forearm is again placed on the table, but you can move freely in these directions, okay? Rotate it horizontally and have it back vertically, okay? If this is too hard, you can also help yourself to bring it in this position and then slowly let gravity pull it down, training yourself like that. And the next step then would be to do it without assistance and then slowly increasing the weight as well. Very good. There you have it. That's it already. I hope you found this helpful. I hope it helps you. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. And then I wish you a wonderful day and hopefully see you at fibamu again soon.